Good afternoon. It is Sunday. I am still sick. I don't know how long I'm going to stream for today, but it's probably not going to be the whole 4 hours. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. There will be no video feed today because I just feel like shit, and yeah. For the weekly wrap up, there will be no photo slideshow. This is going to be very low energy because I just, again, do not feel well. So just brass tacks. I worked, and then Friday, I don't know, I came down with just not feeling great. The day before, I had eaten some questionable things, like some hamburger meat that'd been in the fridge for a while, some bacon with like this kind of slime, but I figured it was maple brown sugar bacon, and to be fair, it was slimy when I bought it new, and there was no problems there. Of course, the problem with the maple brown sugar bacon or things of that nature is because of the overpowering smell of the sugar, you sometimes can't catch if it's actually rancid. It didn't taste rancid, it didn't taste bad. And then I found out also the day after that, yesterday, that the bread that I'd eaten that day was also expired. I don't know. So it could have been food poisoning. It could have been bug. I did have some very fever-like feelings Friday afternoon as I lay in bed. You know, the chills, couldn't get warm type thing, body ache. I did some Theraflu and Pepto-Bismol, which helped with all those symptoms. I got to feeling somewhat better. I did manage to eat later Friday, but I went something like 20 hours before I could actually hold even water down. It was not good times. I believe I'm still probably pretty dehydrated because even as I'm sitting here sipping water, I can't drink a whole lot of it before I have to let it kind of percolate through before I can drink anymore. So that's been fun. I had fitful rest Friday night, Saturday morning. I got on and streamed a little bit Saturday afternoon after I ran some errands. It was a very terrible day. I had to go, 45 minutes one way to pick up my check, my pay for the week. Then I went to pull out my wallet, and prepare to cash my check. Realized I'd left my wallet at home. Good time. So I had to come all the way back home, 45 minutes. That's an hour and a half driving. Grab my wallet, go back out, cash the check. I couldn't do it. There were some issues with the check. I usually just go to a Publix, which is a grocery store, cash it there. They couldn't do it. No real answer. Just a bunch of hoopla-dee-doo. Here, call this phone number. We don't care. It's not our problem. I did that, jumped through a phone tree, got nothing for my trouble, but a wasted half an hour. Again, not feeling great the whole time. So it's a Bank of America check. So I went to there. They had a Saturday open branch, and they couldn't initially cash it. So that took like 20 minutes for the manager to come do stuff to finally give me my money. And it wasn't like a large sum of money. We're talking like a $450 check, if that. What is the problem? Just give me my money. Then, of course, I had to make a partial car payment because I've been behind on my bills. The cat needed cat food. I got some sick people food, some soup and whatnot. And I went to go deposit some money in my other bank. Well, I only have the one bank account, and it's kind of defunct. They had arbitrarily closed my line of credit through them because they said my credit score dipping as low as it did. Basically meant they wanted nothing to do with me anymore. So I just like, screw you guys then. I started transferring all my recurring fees and bills to Chime card. I don't know if you ever heard of Chime. It's like a prepaid debit card type thing. I missed one, and it went through and overdrafted that account with that bank because I'd stopped keeping money there because screw you if you're going to treat me like garbage. And I was going to put that money back in Friday, but I didn't get paid. And then Saturday, I went to do it because I can do it through the ATM, deposit money there. Where's my ATM card? Oh, I don't know. Since I'd stopped using them as my primary bank, I no longer keep that card in my wallet because the less cards in my wallet, the easier things are. I don't know where I put it. And of course, Monday is a federal holiday, so the soonest I can deal with this is Tuesday. They're probably going to try to tack on more fees. I told them the Friday before this last one, look, I'm sorry that I overdrafted. What I can do for you is pay you the money that I overdrafted and the small fee that you added on. I'll give you like $180. If you want any more than that by the time I get back to you next Friday, which was 2 days ago, and I didn't, I'm sorry I can't help you. So I'm going to have to either get off work early sometime in the week and just tell my boss whatever, deal with it, and just go in person and give them $180, and then they'll tell me if that's enough or not, and it won't matter what they tell me because I'm done with the bank after that. They can shove it. They can send it to collections. I don't give a shit. My credit is ruined, absolutely crashing and burning as we speak. It's in the low 400s and diving. I am working with a debt consolidation group to deal with this, but it's going to take years for my credit to crawl out of the hole. So it is what it is. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to sue me over 30 or 40 bucks. They can go ahead and have fun with that and just waste that money. I'd rather file for bankruptcy than give them a dime, because after banking with them for 15 years, they declined me on a consolidation loan that would have prevented all of this from happening. So now I'm not a big fan of banks. I don't want a bank account. I don't even like Chime. I keep literally enough money on Chime to float incoming recurring bills. And generally how this plays out is like I'll get a threatening email saying we're going to cancel your service, your subscription did not go through, or we're going to cancel your car insurance if you don't pay us, or, you know, things like that. And then that's like, oh, okay, well, how much do I owe you? And then I put exactly that much in so that they can take their money. And then if they get mad that I'm late on my payments, I really don't care. I don't keep money on my Chime card like that because I don't want anybody making money off of my money. And what actually happens when you use a bank and you deposit money, you're basically giving them your money to try to make money off of using fractional reserve banking to generate loans out of fake money, and they're using your money as collateral. And then when you go to quote unquote withdraw money, they're basically creating money to pay you money. They're not actually giving your $100 is gone as soon as it drops in your account within like a second, like one Mississippi. And then when you quote unquote withdraw from that bank, you're basically just getting off the merry-go-round. It's effectively like it's basically like buying into a security. When you keep your money at a bank, your finances are kept in a security, which is used to cover loans and things of that nature, and deal with providing investment capital to open up things. And so the only way a bank can give you your money back is essentially by taking someone else's money to get you off the ride. And then the whole time they're hanging on to your funds and doing things with them, they're trying to make money off of your money. So I don't know where I'm going to do my electronic transactions in the future, but I don't want to keep my money electronically anywhere and let people play around with my hard work and labor and then give me excuses about why there's fees and withdrawal limits when it comes time to get what's mine back. I'm just not a fan. If you feel differently, by all means do. There's a lot of people that think that the world would be better without cash. Good luck with that, because one little clerical error and you have no capacity to eat, buy fuel for your vehicle, whether it's an electric plug-in or a gasoline one. You won't be able to make your car payment on time, and you may get delinquent marks on your account through no fault of your own, because you want these people that cannot be trusted to hold on to your money. The head of the JP Morgan Chase financial firm that runs Chase Bank had recently, I think like a year ago, said something about maybe we should consider revoking property rights from individuals to help meet climate goals. So they don't even want you to own anything. Now, if you've been paying attention and you're a grown adult and you pay your own bills and you've explored going from renting to owning a home, you'll already know that effectively you're renting your property from the government, because as long as you have that property, they want property taxes from you. So if you don't pay, men with guns will come and take your property from you and seize it, do whatever they want with it. Maybe they'll auction it off. Maybe, I don't know, they'll use it for federal purposes or state purposes. It won't be your problem anymore. It won't be your property. You'll be in jail because you haven't been paying your taxes. So, I don't know. There's this channel on YouTube. They also have their own website now with a lot of content. It's called the Podcast of the Lotus Eaters. They're located out of the United Kingdom. A lot of good stuff there. One of their series is called Brokenomics, where they essentially dive into how the economy globally, locally, in different countries actually works, some of the history of economics, and the cause and effect of some of why what is happening right now is happening. And they go into some detail regarding things like fractional reserve banking, how loans have basically destroyed the capacity for markets to function healthy, lobbying, etc. But one of their more relatively recent, in the last couple months or so, episodes was, what do you really own? What can you really own? And it turns out a lot of what you own isn't really yours. Because even if you aren't paying annual taxes on certain things, there are many circumstances that can come together and coalesce where essentially all of those things are seized so that other people can get satisfaction from things that you are claimed that you owe them, such as women. The joy of women. There's actually this thing where in some states, men have wrongfully been determined to be the father of a baby to a woman they've never met, let alone did the nasty with, right? And even with a negative test, paternity test, they're forced to pay child support and can go to prison for not paying child support to a kid that is demonstrably proven not to be theirs. And before they send you to prison, they'll do things like garnish your wages, which is where they just arbitrarily take a percentage they find suitable from your income, and you're left to live on whatever's left. And the previous job I worked at was a gentleman in management who paid child support. He worked full-time in a union position with one group, worked part-time as management in the company where I worked. He basically slept something like 6 to 7 hours a day around his work shifts, sometimes on the job in his truck, because he was a manager. He didn't have to get out and watch us work all the time. And he was probably pulling in, I shit you not, something like $5,000-$6,000 a month. And he was living on like $1,900 a month because child support. Figure that one out. And of course, you have other ways that women like to steal from you, like alimony. Divorce proceedings will oftentimes give them a large portion of your assets because, after all, they're just women. How can they be expected to make it out there? There goes your house. Usually what they'll do is they'll just seize the house, the court will, and then sell it, auction it off, get whatever they can for all your assets, and then give her half of whatever that amounts to. Or in some cases, if they look at the total value of all the assets, they might give her the house alone if the house represents about half of what you're worth. But if you're not worth more than your house, they'll just sell the house and then split it between you. If you have nothing but the house, they're not just going to let her have the house. That's too much. You know, they got to give you something. Not much, but something. Women are a dangerous game. I don't think that you should avoid women at all costs or anything of that nature. I think that women have a very important place in people's lives and in society. I don't think it's healthy to attempt to, excise them from your life, but nonetheless, be careful with that. I don't know where the chat. There's a thing to get the chat window visible in my OBS so that I can play my game and respond to you guys, and I can't open up my chat right now. Here we go. Shit. Hold on. All right. There we go. That's a little better, I think. So anyways, that's just a little tangent rant that I felt like going on about for a spell. So I've had a challenging weekend. I'm sick and I'm dealing with all this. And then before I even go back to work, I gotta maintain my car. I gotta rotate my tires and change my oil and do my front brakes. Put new brake pads on. I have to go physically get those things, leave my house and go buy them, and then jack up my car and do that work. I do not feel up to it today. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And then further, it's raining. It's been raining yesterday and today constantly, so I can't really get out there and do those types of things in the rain. For the most part. I mean, I guess, some people might, but I don't want things to get wet when they're taken apart and all of that good stuff, and things get messy, and I'm already sick, so just there's no such thing as, oh, well, if you just wear the right rain gear and whatnot, you're going to get wet. And if you're already sick, your immune system's already doing a lot of work. I'm not going to go out there and just get all wet and miserable. It's very nippy for Florida, too. I think it's like, what temperature is it right now? It's like 57 Fahrenheit, which is quite nippy for Florida. There's a bit of a breeze. It's not too bad on that front, but it's cold and it's wet, and I'm sick. It's not going to happen today. So I'm going to just text my manager and tell him, piss off, I'm not coming to work tomorrow. It's nothing personal. But yeah. I'm not going to do that right now, though. We're going to wait till this evening. Let it be what it is. Because I'm not going to drive to work. I drive 75 miles to the job. It's like 45, 50 miles to my boss's house. It's like about 35 to 45 miles to the people that I carpool. So a lot of the time I have to pick up these two guys that just don't get driver's licenses for whatever reason. And then I have to go all the way 35, 45 miles to get them, and then I got to drive, and that's like northeast, and then I got to drive from there southeast to go to work. It's like a giant triangle, basically. And they've been having me take them to and from work, and it's like 3 to 3.5 hours of drive time every day on top of 6 to 9 hours of work a day on the clock. And then for 3 weeks there, I didn't get paid for that drive, and that's some bullshit. I do a lot of things for people. I work really hard, but I don't do any of it for free. I'm not a big fan of driving these guys around either. I don't do it because I want to. They're not my friends. I don't like them. They're just coworkers. I don't hate them or anything, but they're just, I don't pick them up because I think it's cool. I'd rather just drive to work alone and listen to my music and just not be bothered, and they like to talk sometimes, and it irritates the shit out of me. And then, so that's anywhere from 110 to 250 miles a day driving, depending on where we're working. I live in one city, and then my boss lives in another city, and then he generally works the entire county down there, but he also does a little bit of the county north of him, so I'm all over the place, depending on where I'm needed on a given day. It's a lot of driving, and I'm not just going to drive my car around God's green earth without good maintenance, so it is what it is. I'm just pissing gas money right at this point. Like, I'm spending over $100 a week on gas because of this fucking job. And honestly, what I'm earning doing it's not much better than the job before it. And the only reason I'm still doing it, even though I like the work itself, it's just too much. The resources it costs me aren't worth my time. I mean, it pays better than, $400 a week for the most part. But making $400 a week and being able to ride your bicycle to work would probably be more lucrative for me at this point than this, even though I'm making sometimes twice that. It's not in a vacuum. I'm going to probably keep working for this guy for the foreseeable future because I have no other alternatives. I have nothing to pivot and go do instead. I'm desperately trying to pool money to get my own business so that I can go do things in my own name. And if he's going to keep me working for him at that point, he's going to have to pay me for services rendered. I'll be workman's comp exempt, not on the books, paid in cash. And of course, I'll be able to cut receipts, so it's all legal. But he'll be paying him a bit more than he does now. That's a fact. Well, actually, he'll probably be paying less because for every $100 he pays me, he has to pay $160. Like a $60 more than what he's paying me for the stupid workman's comp and all that shit. So when your employer is paying you $400 a week, he's paying on top of that another $240 to have you work there. A lot of people don't seem to understand this. So he's actually paying $640 for you to get $400 because the government. Aren't they just snazzy? So, I don't know. I don't enjoy my job anymore at this point. It's gotten banal. I'm oftentimes confronted with just a lot of corners being cut, a lot of low quality shit, a lot of things that could be done better but aren't. I don't know if it's because of laziness or what the score is with that, but I'm left to work on my own sometimes, which is relaxing in a way, but very frustrating because I'm dealing with everything that everybody else didn't do right up until that point. I could go into about a million different examples of this, but it doesn't even bear discussing because at the end of the day, it's all 100% preventable, avoidable, and if you would perhaps put a little more effort into quality vis-a-vis not saddle me with driving around two guys that just don't drive and letting me just work my own schedule, showing up when and where I wanted to, I could put in the extra effort to make sure things got done better. And then, two, he would have to hold his employees to a slightly higher standard to that which he does now. For God's sakes, the painter, he's got this goofball that he calls a painter. He's not a painter. He's an incompetent twat. Got overspray all over the floor at this job that we're doing. So now I'm supposed to put tape down, caution tape. It's a long story. The tape's just going to live on the floor. It just lives there. It's just a little thing so that you know where to walk or whatever. There's so much overspray. There's no real easy way to get it off. Paid to have the floors professionally cleaned, and they did not remove the overspray. They could have. There are ways. They didn't. Because he doesn't pay for top-tier service. We tore up some parquet floor in an old gymnasium. There is a machine that can do this in about 4 hours, the whole floor. You ride on it, so it's not exactly labor-intensive either. But it costs too much to rent. So what should we do? Let's have 3 guys working at about somewhere between $18 and $20 an hour, spend 3 days doing this by hand, have it come out shittier as a result, and have to spend another 2 days dealing with that, because that's cheaper than renting a machine and doing it in 4 hours with 1 guy and a helper. You can't make this shit up. I know this man. He's been in my life a long time. I don't think he's a bad guy. It's just sometimes short-term savings blind him to better outcomes and cheaper overall project costs down the road. And he's got really nobody in his corner actually parsing the cost of these things and doing analysis on costs to help save him from these terrible decisions. He doesn't have anybody stepping up and doing the math for him. He's kind of just doing it on his own. I mean, it's kind of a family business, I guess you could say. And there's people in his family that have things to say, but at the end of the day, he's kind of like on his own when it comes time to making decisions. And that could be, for the sake of profit, even at my own expense, a mistake for him. And there are times that if he made the better responsible financial decision, that might screw me out of extra hours working. And I might have shorter weeks with smaller paychecks. So be it. He's a business. He exists to make money. He's not making enough money for the amount of time and money he's spending. But sometimes that's just how it is. People don't always choose to listen when they could. Make of that what you will. All we can really do, you and I, is learn from the mistakes of others, do our best to be useful, give 110% when others choose not to, and that's just life. Now, for the beginning of today, I'm going to run some abyssals because I got my second job, and it's called EVE Online. Let's make sure we have everything we need. And we are good to go. I don't know what I'm going to do after this. Again, I'm just in the gutter. Now that I'm done talking, I'm actually going to play. I don't know how good I'm going to feel. I thought I felt okay yesterday when I first sat down on my computer. And then as I played my game, I just incrementally felt worse. I don't know how that works.
Warp drive active.
But we'll see how it goes. After this, I don't know if I'm still streaming after I get bored with EVE. I might switch over to Pow World. I might go play some Oblivion for the hopes of relaxing. And I don't know. At some point, I might actually just put something on in the background for myself, so that I can just veg out and watch shows and or movies and play video games, which would mean reduced interaction with you. I'm pretty sure that anybody that does stop by and view my content for any length of time is not particularly invested in my rants. I'm not exactly what you would call a man of significance in any particular arena or topic of discussion. I mean, I consume a lot of media. I do a lot of keeping up with current events. Just to be kind of aware of what's going on. I could talk about some of that at any given time, but it's not anything you can't go look at yourself. Generally, what I'd be prone to do in matters like of current events is just recommend things like channels you could go watch that I find to be relatively trustworthy. There's no such thing as unbiased. There's no such thing as neutral. But, like Styx, Hex, and Hammer, he's on Rumble, he's on YouTube. You can check him out. Styx, Hex, and Hammer 666. He's a bit of a goofball. I don't agree with a lot of the things he believes in, but he has really prescient takes in the arenas of politics. Like, he seems to see these things coming from a mile away. He is wrong occasionally. Everybody is. Nobody bats 1,000, but this guy is startlingly accurate in his predictions. He seems to have his finger on the pulse. His doppelganger Razor Fist does too, but discusses politics less. He's more of a culture man. He likes to basically beat the shit out of idiots and general topics of discussion, such as music and entertainment, video entertainment like TV shows, movies, etc. He does some local politics. He's an Arizona man. He's also got some of the best rants I've ever listened to. His elocution is profound. His prose, his cadence, his vocabulary, it's all amazing. And Razor Fist, also on YouTube. I don't know if he's gone over to Rumble as well, but I do know that he can be found on YouTube, and he's really worth listening to. He also had some very interesting hot takes on some relatively sensitive subjects, such as President Lincoln and the Michael Jackson fiasco. He also discussed O.J. Simpson. He does metal mythos rants, which are basically breakdowns of history of metal bands, the ups and downs, and some of the creative where did they come from type stuff. Really entertaining. He does video game streams, and in those he talks more about current events than I do. He's also more entertaining than I am. He has a better setup than I do, and he's got a built-in fan base that's greater than I have, and he's much more consistent with his content, although he does choose what he does and when. He does what he wants. He's his own man, so if you watch him, you're just going to watch what he wants to do, because that's what he's going to give you. Still worth watching. Very awesome. He also does some movie review type content where he does some classic movies. He reviews them, and those are really hilarious, but also fun. Definitely check him out. The podcast of the Lotus Eaters can be found under that name on YouTube. They also have lotuseaters.com. Whatever your foreign currency is, it's £5 a month to subscribe to that. I don't know what that translates to American dollars, but I pay it every month religiously. And even though I don't go to their website very often, probably not often enough to justify the cost, it is just drowning in fascinating articles regarding politics, philosophy, history, both ancient and semi-modern, culture, economics, psychology, entertainment, comics, and more. They do it all. Very much worth your time to look into their content. And if there's anything in there for you, you should really consider checking them out. They also have the means to now buy individual pieces of content as well. If you don't want to, subscribe every month and have that constantly draining your wallet, you can you can basically buy individual interviews or lectures on different topics. Like if you want to just do the brokenomics, you can buy them one at a time because, you know, the full episode is not on YouTube. They put it up. It's like 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes on YouTube. Some of the interviews are like an hour on YouTube. When you go over to their webpage, those can be hours of content for that, not just a little 20, 30 minute, you know, blurb. And they are very thorough, very detailed, and they're Englishmen, so that they have a much better way of speaking about them. A lot less linguistic stuttering, like you know, and like, and a lot less of that. They're very well spoken, very articulate, very soothing to listen to on the videos. They do have several tiers of membership I know about. One of them actually allows them to offer you to read aloud their written articles. So if you don't want to read through a dense article like a blog type article, you can actually have it read to you for a higher tier, a little extra cost. So if you want something to listen to while you're driving to and from work, or if you're a trucker and you just need miles of content to listen to because you're just always staring at yellow and white lines, that higher tier of subscription for Lotus Eaters might be right up your alley. I also like Academy of Ideas. They also have their own domain now. I don't know the name of their website, but they have a channel on YouTube you should check out. They deal exclusively in philosophy, which is very interesting and honestly changed my life to start getting into philosophy. At this point, I haven't read a ton of books on it, but there's a lot of stuff about Jung, Freud, Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, a lot of it, you know, Dostoevsky. A lot of these German and Russian thinkers back in the day really did have pinned down some of the reality of the human condition. I think because they just lived in shitty times and shitty places, it just really allowed the lesson of the day to permeate quite deeply into the psyche and for them to disseminate something of use from it. So that's another great channel. They're not about current events at all, although if you listen to them from the oldest videos to the newest, they do start integrating some of their points, some of their philosophical presentations into like current society. Like social contagions stem from understanding of basic psychology, which and psychiatry, which they do somewhat loosely discuss indirectly, since they do speak on Freud and Jung and others. So you will kind of get a glimmer of some insight into psychological understanding and learning. It's not enough to where you'd actually consider yourself, schooled in psychology. It's not like that, but they do address it, and they try to make it relevant to the world that you inhabit today. Good stuff. And, it's always nice to have something to regurgitate that everybody hasn't heard about 3,000 times today. I watch Matt Walsh because he's funny. I'm generally not 100% on board with some of his stuff. As far as his personal beliefs, I am, I'm somewhat aligned on some of it, but mostly I just think he's hilarious. His whole sarcastic, dry wit shtick is pretty good stuff. And if you can't take a joke, fuck you. And that's basically my personal philosophy. What else do we got that's really good to listen to? I'm just trying to go down the list here. Well, Mr. Ballin, we all know Mr. Ballin. He tells strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in a story format. Good stuff. And unlike that, what's the name of the show, Murder Mystery Mayhem or whatever, the girl that does her makeup, he didn't sell out and start getting leftist and talking about revisionist history because she ran out of true crime. That's not Mr. Ballin. He's still sticking to the format that always worked and everybody loves him for. He's rock solid. I also like Donut Operator and Police Activity, 2 channels that have to do with like police like shooting events and stopping bad guys, seeing criminals come to justice, because we all need to believe that there is some kind of right and wrong and rule of law, so that we don't feel that we're just living in an anarchistic, nihilistic, hopeless cesspit of just libertines being psychotic out on the streets. We want to think there's some form of security, some possibility at tangible reward for doing what we know to be right. So I like those channels just to kind of see that play out. And, sometimes you see injustice carried out, but ironically, often enough, when police pull out their guns, it's for good reason. So that's It's also kind of, I'm not going to lie to you, it's kind of entertaining as well. I find it amusing, you know, the whole fuck around and find out factor. So that's kind of good times. It's a little, you know, guilty pleasure of mine. It can verge over into current events too, to a point. I don't really watch a lot of like the news podcasts per se. I don't watch a lot of the Daily Wire, just Matt Walsh. I don't see Matt Walsh as necessarily one and the same as the Daily Wire. I just think the Daily Wire kind of owns the Matt Walsh property, and you have to go through them a little bit to kind of get to his stuff. But, you know, all those clowns, like, I don't, you know, Andrew Klavan's a closet leftist. Ben Shapiro's a warmongering Zionist who probably has more loyalty to Israel than he does to America. For whatever that's worth, that's his decision to make. He's his own individual person. I just don't know why everybody likes him so much. He's a war hawk. He just wants people to die in forever wars. Michael Knowles, he's Catholic. Okay, he's Catholic. I'm not a big fan of Catholicism. There's not a lot of redeeming traits there. I mean, I don't even think you can make the argument that it's any better than Islam. On a lot of levels, they both fall wildly short. And on the subject of faith, a recent addition to my favorite channels to watch is The Crucible, which is a debate channel with Andrew Wilson, who himself is an Eastern Orthodox Christian. A lot of his debates are on subjects that pretty much go around things like gender, this, that, and the other, and moral and ethical things regarding, you know, virtue and value. And basically, his whole shtick is debating degenerates like Destiny and Not So Erudite and Lav and a few other people in that field, the bread tube debaters. He went to go debate this guy named Dillahunty and basically got that guy to essentially just give up debate entirely because he just scooped him so hard. He walked out before the debate even properly began. Basically, Andrew made his opening statement, and Dillahunty just forfeited. And everybody's going to say a lot of things about that particular debate. I want to say his name's Matthew Dillahunty or something like that. Just look up Andrew Wilson Dillahunty debate and on YouTube, and you'll find it. It's pretty funny. People will interpret it different ways, but here's what happened. All right, Dillahunty came in, and his debate preparation was centered around dismantling Andrew's worldview, because Dillahunty's an atheist and Andrew is a Christian. The first thing Andrew did in his opening statement was cede Dillahunty's worldview and say, I'm not going to debate from a position of my worldview, I'm going to debate from a position of your worldview. How are you going to defend the following things? And when he did that, Dillahunty basically lost his entire debate strategy and went right down the toilet. You know, if you're preparing your entire debate around the presumption that your opponent is going to deny the existence of a thing, and then that person just cedes that thing exists, you literally have nothing to argue at that point, because that's not what you were prepared to do. You had really honed in on a very specific strategy, and this guy's not going to allow you to employ that strategy. You now have no strategy, no leg to stand on. What are you going to do? You're going to just act angry, act indignant, pretend like you've been besmirched, and cuck out. And that's exactly what he did. It looked so bad for him, and the PR and the blowout from the fallout from it happening just was so bad that Dillahunty effectively just gave up debate. Another thing that happened is the Destiny thing. Oh my God. I don't know if you're familiar with who Destiny is. He's got a channel on YouTube. You can go find his content. He's not been up to much lately, and I can't imagine why. Probably because his passport bride basically took him to the cleaners for somebody that was a girly man. So after standing for polyamory and open marriages and all the rest of that nonsense, non-fidelity, consensual non-fidelity, whatever you want to label it as, this guy got left by his passport wife for a girly man. and she wants him to pay her a hefty sum of money as part of the severance of their relationship. She left him. And he just wanted to die on that hill of sharing your wife, you know, marrying the town bicycle, taking ownership of something that everybody's just, and it blew up in his face. That's everybody pointed it out to him. This is not smart. This doesn't work. He's like, oh, but it's going to work for me because I'm Destiny. But it didn't work for Destiny. And I haven't seen him up to much. I haven't seen him producing a whole lot of content. I mean, he's not, you know, retired. He's doing things, but he's not out there kicking ass and taking names. And I think on a lot of levels, Andrew pretty much brought to bear the lie that Destiny is a good debater, because every time they've ever debated, all Destiny has ever done is fling red herrings, burn straw men, pivot, and just rapidly retreat into semantics. He doesn't, but here's the thing. Destiny winning quote-unquote debates against right-wing debaters is oftentimes just an artifact of him being able to speak slightly more eloquent than them. And it's not that the right-wing point lost because the right-wing point was bad. It was just poorly presented, and the people who are doing these debates don't know debate structure. I don't either. I'm learning, but debating is a skill. You actually have to train it, cultivate it, practice it, sharpen it. And a lot of people that debated Destiny had really good takes, but could not properly articulate them within the structure of debate, did not know how to identify leftist debate tactics and therefore defend against them reasonably to the audience, and so came off kind of just sputtering and upset. And then along comes Andrew Wilson. Very composed, very adept, paying very close attention to exactly what is said and how it's said, and calling out this man flawlessly. Like, anytime you've ever watched a debate between Andrew Wilson and Destiny, you need to watch these two debate. It quickly becomes apparent who's really in control. You got Destiny, the pitch of his voice starts going up, he starts speaking more rapidly. You can hear the defensiveness in the tone, and you can even, honestly, if you're paying attention, hear the uncertainty. And here's the thing. Destiny has no personal principles or mores. He got a wife, went through all the trouble of marrying a woman, and didn't even think that he didn't even understand that that's your wife. That's not just some woman that you sleep with and other people sleep with, but she lives with you. That's not what a wife means. That's not the definition of marriage. He doesn't even understand that. The man has no concept of morals, virtues, values. He has nothing that he's ever debated that he honestly, personally believes in. So this man consistently debates points for things he does not believe in. Whereas you have somebody like Andrew, who not only A, is a trained debater, more so than Destiny pretends to be, but actually does have rock solid, uncompromising moral takes. He believes the things he argues. And as he believes these things and has conviction that these are so, he's not going to lose a debate because it's not his values that are in question, it's just his tactics. And since he's practiced those, somebody with no values, someone with no virtue, cannot really argue against what he believes because they have no good argument for why he's wrong. And that's where you get a lot of wins and a lot of entertainment too. But I have to warn you, if you don't like seeing people gibbering and shouting and screaming and calling people names and using a lot of unnecessary vulgar language, you probably don't want to watch these debates because these guys get really upset. Okay, who's out here sucking me dry? Let's not have any more of that, thank you. Man, they got a lot of cap drain in here.
The capacitor is empty.
Yeah, tell me about it.
The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
I'm in mild panic here. got me on that one. All right, we're back in business. Yeah, when they take out your tank, you're kind of in a little bit of trouble. We got to make sure we don't get iced out because of that. Could be a problem. So, we got some current events, we got entertainment, we got debates, we got food for thought. These are all good channels. Moving on to music, I kind of like Mr. Mom music for some things. Not everything, but he's got some bangers. The Vibes family of channels, like, I don't know what they're all called, but I think the one that's making the most content that I'm subscribed to that's still putting out a lot of stuff is Vibes Xena, Xena. Do a lot of nightcore over there. It can be fun in small doses. If you know what that stuff is, it's okay. I like it in small doses. One of my best and most favorite channels for music has got to be Astral Throb. A lot of it's not lo-fi. Shut up. It's basically synthwave in a retro flavor. It's good stuff. I very much like it. And of course, New Retro Wave, the channel. They do a lot of vocal synthwave, but not necessarily exclusively vocal synthwave. Some of it's no vocals. Really good stuff. Real good slice of late 70s to early 90s in that vein. Just classic good listening. And there's a couple of other channels for music that I would probably prop up if I could think of them off the top of my head. Suicide Sheep. It's another electronic music, kind of like chill step and things of that, future-based, things of that flavor, often with female vocals. Both Suicide Sheep and Mr. Mom do kind of fall into the trap of the obnoxious sad boy crooning tracks, which I just despise that vocal style. Crooning sad boys just annoy me. I don't like male vocals in electronic music. I love male vocals in metal music. I hate female vocals in metal music. But I like female vocals in electronic music. It's kind of like you're not fond of seeing a man in a dress, but you like seeing a woman in a dress. I don't know. I'm not saying that electronic music's exclusively female or anything of that flavor. I have a specific preference for how I like my music arranged. I think we all can kind of understand that because we all have preferences. We got to get back over here to the gate. And drop our tractor unit. If I would have known it was that far away, I would have dropped the tractor unit and then came over there and shot it. I don't know why I didn't do it the other way around. So anyways, we've talked about my rant about money and fuck women and fuck the government, but not really though, but kind of. We've talked about YouTube channels for things like music and everything else. We've talked about I'm sick. I'm running out of things to talk about today. Really getting through it. Really laying the smack down for just my rants. Probably some of the most tightest, fast-paced ranting I've ever done. Maybe there's a virtue to just feeling like shit. I don't know. I haven't eaten today. I think the last thing I ate was like some applesauce at 4 a.m. Currently drinking water. I don't know if I want to eat because when I ate yesterday, I started feeling shitty again. I felt not good when I went out to go do all these errands, but I felt kind of like stomach-wise okay because there was nothing in it. And I came back home and ate, and it was not okay anymore. Could have been what I ate. I don't know. You can't win for losing. Last night when I was in bed, I had this weird feeling I get sometimes when I got something like, I don't know if you've ever had jammed up pipes inside of you. It's like something's working its way through you, and you kind of get like this weird, almost like light tremory feeling, and you kind of get chills, and you can't get warm, and then you just don't feel right for a while, and then over time, like you start getting this sense that something's heading on its way to the exit, and all of a sudden you got to take a massive shit, and then you feel better. Like, I don't know what that is, but yeah, I had some of that last night, and I have not taken a shit. And I'm sure, as enthralling as you find my channel, you're not particularly invested in the concept of listening to details about my bowel movements, but I just can't help but thinking taking a massive shit would probably help me feel a lot less sick, but it just hasn't happened. I am dehydrated, though, because I'm not able to just chug water. If I was able to drink like a gallon of water a day right now, I'd probably pass a lot faster, but I just have no thirst. I feel dehydrated, but I'm, like, having trouble drinking water. Go figure. And if I drink too much water, like, let's just say I blast an 8-ounce cup of water, it just sits in my stomach for a while before it goes anywhere. You just kind of feel it hanging out in there. Yeah. And on to the next room. It's not lucrative today. It's not looking really particularly worth my time today. This is my second filament, and honestly, I've gotten nothing of worth yet. This is why I call you my second job. You know, I got to do a lot of this stuff to actually make any real money off of it. Some of this is just real low yield. Like, here's what we're working with right now. This is our actual... That's not right. This is our actual payout right there. 12.4 million. There's been times where I've gone through one room and made like 150 million. There's something of random chance involved in doing abyssals. The enemies are random. The loot is random. You can always start getting paid at any point, but there's no real guarantees. And like all things with random number generators and MMOs, you can go days of just getting shafted before things turn around for you. It's not super awesome. I mean, my money supply is not terrible. I'm at 3.189 billion personal, 3.846 billion corporate main wallet, and then in my corporate divisions, I have another 4 billion over 2 different divisions. So that's we're over 10 billion in liquid assets, but that's still not a lot of money in EVE. I lose 3 ships, I'll be down to 4 billion. Out of 10. Well, not just any ships, just the ship I'm flying. And it says this thing's worth 1.1 billion, but I can promise you it's worth about 1.5 when you actually go to buy everything off the market. I can't believe I forgot to do this. This is for my protection. Keep my location anonymous. Be an anonymous Andy. conflict resolution, Kevin. There's a little more in there. I'm getting a lot of blueprints today, but you know, all these things cost you money to build. And yes, you can sell what you build, but the amount of raw materials necessary to construct these things is not trivial. Oh, what do you know? I just felt something. Might just be gas. It's kind of the same concept as a hangover shit. Really. I mean, it's similar. Kind of close. Might not be able to get all these containers. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. I gotta cook this steak in the fridge today if it hasn't gone turned over already. Might already be spoiled. I do not want to eat steak. I don't want to eat anything but bread right now because my stomach is just trashed, but I gotta cook it. Hopefully it'll last another day or two once that happens. I bought it. I gotta eat it. It's a nice steak, too. At least I hope it is. Spent money on it. Better be nice. If I take that 86-kilometer container, it's going to be tight. 3 minutes until I die. You gotta ask yourself and weigh the risk. Is there anything in that container that's worth having? It takes about 60 seconds for 60 kilometers. Maybe a little less, because I have a slightly better mobile tractor unit. That could be something that I spend some extra money on, is a better tractor unit, because there's one faster one than the one I own. That would be the Magpie. Another 250 meters a second speed for the tractor beam. The base mobile tractor unit's 1,000 meters a second. My pack rat is 1,250 meters a second, and the Magpie is 1,500 meters a second. Faster tractor speeds means getting things in quicker so that you can leave faster. Make sure it's in our cargo. Let's get the hell out of here. A minute and 22 to spare. It's not too bad. So what we're actually going to be able to sell from what we just did amounts to about 20 million. In order to build one of these weapons turrets, it would take me something like 1,000 of these, and you saw I just got 76 over 2 filaments. It's not even worth my time.
Warp drive active.
I have a Ricola lozenge in my mouth right now, so that's probably what you're hearing, the rattle. I don't know what this microphone does and doesn't pick up. It's a new microphone. I've only had it for like less than a week. I've only used it. This is the second time now. It sounds a lot better than my webcam microphone did. It's also on an arm, so I can put it right up to my mouth.
Docking permission
not
requested.
right up to my mouth, but I can actually position the microphone a little bit to get a better quality sound.
Docking request accepted.
I'm still kind of playing around with it to determine where it sounds best and where it's the least in my visual field of view, because when the microphone's like right at, like I'm looking at my screen, but I can see the microphone, you know what I mean? We gotta try to mitigate that somewhat, but yeah. All right. I've gotten kind of paranoid ever since I got ganked in a trade hub, so now I put all my stuff in this audit container, and when you lock the items, if the box survives, like my ship gets blown up but the box survives, they won't be able to take anything out of it without the password. And it also logs what I put in it too, so it's helpful because then you can track that information. A lot of people use them in corporations so that you can determine what people have been hauling and all that. Why is my corporate hangar not opening? fuck? Dear CCP, why the fuck is the corporate hangar not opening? That was very strange. You got quite the glitch going there. Quite the glitch going on there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick potty break. I will be back. In the meantime, I don't know. I can't put anything on that might be like... I can't put on a show for you to watch because copyright. YouTube and their stupid BS. I'll be back as soon as humanly possible. that smelled like straight baby shit. And if you know what that smells like, yeah, straight baby shit. You can call me Baby Shit Johnson. Wow, that was unpleasant. You know what's worse? I think there's more on the way. It's one of those types of deals, you know. More coming. More are coming. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take tomorrow off. I can't do any car work in weather like this. It's just raining out there. Just terrible weather. So I'm gonna be real with you people, as you fine folks who are basically nobody because nobody watches my content, I'm pretty sure. I'm probably going to stop this podcast at 2 and spend the rest of the afternoon watching horror movies or something and just vegging out. Maybe I'll read my book for a little while or something. It's a good day to be useless. It's just a terrible weather day. I'm not making any money out here. What are my assets looking like? What do I have to sell? I got about 406 million here. I got about 160 million here. I like to sell these surveys when I get about 5,000 plus.
Right, sister. This better be good. That's you don't try to you can't scare me. Well done. What nonsense. Don't remarkable. Oh, please. Don't waste your flat. You don't ever. You're good. Bye.
Hi there. Hello. Go ahead. What nonsense. You're wasting your breath. Such adventures. That's pretty good. My life is... That works for me. Also very... Take care.
Crime doesn't pay. Make it quick. Remarkable. No, you can't scare me. No, you do me too much honor. What? Really? Ugh. Is that so? Good. Is that so? Really? Not you. No. See, you're good. Take care.
Who are you? Well met. Tell me more. I've got another job for you, slightly off the record. Reynold Germain has a terrible memory. We've met many. You're to accompany him and make sure he succeeds. He needs some time, and Velena coddles the boy too much. Doesn't want him in the line of fire. His mother's been holding him back, protecting him. You'll go to Nonwell Cavern with him. Galtus Previa was lost there, and you're to find him. And not a word of this to the Guildmaster. Go find him. He'll be in the Downtown house, most likely, and bring him back in one piece. We got the contract from his aunt. Was in Nonwell looking for gems of some sort. Never heard from again. You and Varanus, go find him. Velena Danton's eldest son. Good man. We lost him on a botched mission recently. You've probably seen the other wounded around. If you're smart, you'll steer clear of the subject around the Guildmaster.
Greetings, guildmate. Certainly. A mission? Well, of course. I'm sure we can do this. You say this came from Oh, I'm prepared, of course. I'm sure there's He must be in Nonwell somewhere. Yes, my older brother. He was lost on a mission. I'm sure our mother is... For the love of Azura, can't the... Hi there.
Well, you're back. What have you found out? Dead? Damn. Let me see that. Interesting. Nothing we need to talk about now. I'll pay Varanus for his contract. This... I'm going to need you to find Maglir again. That's right. The little vermin has defaulted on another contract. Wish I knew what happened. He had a contract for a local mage in Braville. He hasn't reported to the client at all. Get yourself down to Braville and find Maglir. You'll need to track down... Stop staring at me. Let's get to work.
Well met. Farewell. Meet you. Hi.
Gilgondrin. Maglir? I think... We'll see. Don't... Shh, that never happened. No. What? Sure, that's cute. Shh, that... Yes, yes, good. Yes, yes. Yes. All right, I get it. Bye.
One more Maglir. Blessings of
What is it now?
You again. I imagine I know why. Take your time. Defaulted? That all you talk about? I'm Blackwood Company now. Plenty of work, the pay is good, and I don't have Orain on my back all the time. Oh? I know you're the one who ratted me out to Orain about that other contract. Go back to Orain. Give him my regards. We're done talking. Got nothing...
Make it... Say what you're going to say. Well, no. Don't try to manipulate. What a damn joke. I accept. I wish I could say. Don't, please. Don't, please. Remark. Yes, yes. Well done. All right, Take care.
It's you. Hi. Make... Say what you're going to say. I won't... That's such an... That's... You've got a point. You think... You don't waste your... What? You... Not now? What? I salute you. I can't... That's just stupid. That's just... You win this one. That's... I can't argue. Well, that's not bad. Well... Goodbye.
do you do?
Yes? The little bastard! We took him in when no one else would. This is how he repays us? Talk to Ariari in Bravil. She's our client. Do the job. Stop. Were you looking for...
It's about time someone from the Fighters Guild showed up. This better be good. Yeah, I doubt it. What a wonderful Please. Blow away, wind. Please. Yeah, I get it. Really nice. All right, I get it. Necromancy may be legal in Cyrodiil, but few will openly admit to... You want to join? Well, then either you'll need to find Could-I here in town or go seek out one of the other local guild hall leaders.
Oh, looks like I was muted. See, that's the problem with this remote. If you're not careful with how you handle it, you can hit the mute button. I'm sorry if I was muted for a while. I didn't mean to. I still love you, baby. You love me?
I need imp gall for my studies. 10 portions of it in... You might check Robbers Glen Cave for the imp gall. That place has been known to contain the imps. Does... Bravil? Good points. Cheap to live, unpretentious, freewheeling. Bad points? I just don't trust them. I know they're efficient, a bit too... I'll be waiting right here.
straight. Hey, my stomach's growling. That means I need to eat soon. And we're gonna hang it right. I do like this microphone though. Feels substantial. It looks relatively appealing. The arm that it's mounted on is reasonably sturdy. And the sound quality, I think, is pretty good from what I've heard of it. As I do record all these podcasts or whatever, live streams, I get to listen to them, so it helps. And then also, it's really good to record your live streams, because if they decide to just take down all your content because they hate your guts or whatever, then you at least have all the content, whether they give it back to you or not. Fuck.
Well met. Who will help an old beggar?
The gray fox protects you.
Well met.
No more. Well, have you? You've got it. Looks fresh, too. I realize you'll be paid. Next time, on time, please. I'm Ardeline. Yes, I've seen them before. Don't really. If you make. You too.
Are you here? If there. I'm going. Well, Henantier's been warned that if he strays, the rules say that he isn't to practice dangerous. Henantier's never been one for rules, and so he's continued to. Great. Whatever suits you and gets me Henantier back suits when you're ready to go and see him.
Eterianus. Let's do business. Go ahead. Sure. Don't be silly. Blah, blah, blah. Don't be silly. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Was that supposed to be? No. Yes, whatever was. Well, that's not bad. What can I interest you in? A magic item without a charge? Farewell.
Huh?
Good day. Please, go on. That's just not... You... Not... I see. Have a look around. You won't find... That seems a fair price. That seems... That's an excellent bargain. A good price for a good customer. That's more than I'd usually pay. Thank you. have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you. Come back. Farewell.
Yeah.
Yes? Have a look at my wares. All right. Don't wait. What is... That's great. How's it go again? Don't... You're wasting your breath. You're... Don't talk such... That's great. How's it go again? Don't really... Oh, that... All right. I get it. Only quality goods for sale. You've made a good bit of gold. Another satisfied. Have a look around. You won't find better prices in all... An excellent bargain. Thank you. You too.
Hello.
What is it? I can't believe we lost another to that bunch. Well done taking care of the contract, though. We can't afford to lose any of them these days.
Indeed.
Here's your payment for completion of the contract. I think they weren't always a threat. Small-scale mercenary band, until Riza Kar took over. Then came the fat Imperial contracts. After a mission in Black Marsh, they set up shop in Leowin, more ruthless than ever. It needs investigating. First, though, you need advancement. Your service to the Guild has not gone unnoticed. I've got something for you, but we're not going to talk about it here. We'll talk later.
Anytime now.
Go ahead.
What's going on with you?
I understand Daedra worship has become increasingly prevalent in the Center Sector.
you're here. Duty. That's what all this is about, isn't it? It's our duty to strike back. We need to make... I've been looking into them, heard some disturbing things. We know... Good question. I've heard stories, but nothing I can prove is... All I know for sure is that they'll accept any contract, and they'll do... Velena's gotten tentative since the Blackheart mission. She's worried about getting us killed. But we're just getting killed a little bit at a time. That mission was the start of it. That was when Vitellis was killed. We were contracted by a wizard, Argoth, to recover an artifact from Blackheart. I went in there with 20 men. I left with 5. Vitellis wasn't one of them. He died covering our retreat. I snooped around. Apparently, they completed that contract for us. I went in there with 20 good men. I can't believe that bunch finished the job. There's more. Argoth, he's dead. The artifact gone. Sounds like a setup. Maybe they made a deal with Blackheart. I don't know. But I'll find out. Now we find out what really happened. And we let it... I can't order you to do this with me. It's dangerous. We leave as soon as you're ready. I want to investigate Blackheart's stronghold in Arpenia. Meet me at the Leowen... We need to find out what happened. Let's go.
How are you today?
We need to check out...
Don't judge me. This is how I get my arrows. I like silver arrows, what can I say? I like
Nothing.
silver arrows.
I knew it. Azani Blackheart isn't here, alive or dead. The bastards. There was no battle. Azani must have made a deal with the Blackwood Company. They get the weapon for Argoth, collect the payment, and tell Azani where the mage is. We find Blackheart and get that weapon. We'll finish this contract and let all of Cyrodiil. Blackheart has a fascination with these Ayleid ruins. There's one northeast of here, Atatar. My bet is... We'll show them.
No, don't stop. It hurts. I'm so powerful from completing the Assassin's Guild quests and most of the Thieves Guild quests, among other miscellaneous quests. I do a lot of questing. That really hurt, though. That actually hurt a lot. I guess I'm not immune to existing. You say there's nothing down here, but I'm not so sure. I guess I can admit this place is cleared now. I'm ready. Oh my god, I have to actually wait for this asshole. Taking your time much? Come on, you fucking degenerate. I want to join the other guys just so I can cut your head off for taking so long to walk.
We don't have time to talk. I want to... We'll show them.
At walking speed. You're insufferable. I hope you die at the end of this. As bad as trying to have fucking... It's like walking with my dad or my girlfriend. They take forever to keep up. Come on, you fucking degenerate. What? We just came up this way. Now you want to go somewhere else? What the fuck? I wish I could just pick this dude up and throw him.
He's here.
One's even dumpier than the last one.
on your side. Azani Blackhawk. Dead, finally. Good work. Did you retrieve his ring? I want that as proof that the Blackwood Company didn't defeat him. It's good we've killed him. You've got it. Good. I'll use it to prove it would... Now get out of here. I'm going to head back to Coral. There's no more to say about it. Your accomplishments are impressive. Stay with it.
And just like that, we're warder. A whole lot of farts. I don't give a flying fart. You know what you never hear about? You hear a lot about flying farts, but you never hear about walking farts, swimming farts, running farts, jogging farts, traipsing farts, skipping farts, hopscotching farts.
How are you?
How are you?
day?
Just do your job.
It's my pleasure. Go.
Go hurt something? Seriously? That's what you're gonna saddle me with, is go hurt something?
Say it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Farewell.
A pleasure to...
Bye.
Hello. It's my pleasure. Be seeing you. I hope I can help. Farewell.
I hope I can help. Go to it.
It's my pleasure. Good to see you looking for more work. There's certainly more to be done. Alante is a scholar interested in researching Deidre worship. Meet her in Brittle Rock Cave. Help her find the shrine and keep her safe. That's what Alante is. Go protect Alante. She's doing important research.
It's you. Hi.
Ah, you must be from the Fighters Guild. My research shows there is likely a shrine in these caves. Yes, let's investigate. And keep on your toes. I am alone. Say what you're going to say. That's... No. Yeah, I get it. What? No. That's pretty far-fetched. Whatever you want. Don't. I accept. I have no choice. Whatever you... Not now. What? Good one. Don't... What? Not... So, I'll take that. That's not bad. Stay close, please. Shall we go?
I gotta pee.
Shall we go? Shall we go? Excellent. A fun. I think I'll study this shrine a bit longer. You can make your way out here. A fine study to add to my... I appreciate... Thanks again.
What is it?
Welcome. Please don't be shy. I'm listening.
I'm not shy.
Hello.
You're shy.
Yes?
I hope I can. You finished? Excellent. Good work, guildmate. I don't have anything for anyone in your rank. Go.
Let's see, Laura. I be seeing you.
Good to see you.
See if fuckboy's gotten back from that fucking little journey of ours.
Well met. It's my pleasure. Don't... I'm sorry.
Gotta go get your 10 poisoned apples.
Pity Sir got nothing to eat.
One more call. Blessings of Julianus upon you.
Actually, I gotta go back to Anvil because I need to repair things.
I hope I can help.
I do too.
Certainly. Can't go into battle with broken equipment. Fair.
Hey, you
Well
want any more of
met.
this shit?
Have a look at... You got a great deal there.
I did, didn't I?
Thank you for... You...
I better go drop off some shit. My inventory's getting full. And that, as they say, is that I am knocking off early so that I can go pee and make myself some food. Hopefully, for those few of you that stopped by, you enjoyed my stream today and humored me feeling like garbage. My hands are icicles. I'm very cold. I need to put on some clothes and eat food or something. I don't know. Everybody have a good weekend. And if you have the day off tomorrow, enjoy that. I'm going to enjoy that. All right. Good night.